So what are we really making money for? Are we making money so we can live more freely? So we can buy whatever we want, spend however we like, and live any way we want just because we have money? Is that it? Yes, we make money to be more free. But that does not mean buying anything on a whim or spending without thinking. We make money to move up in class. Remember this, making money is about changing the nature of your life. Only after that should you think about freedom. Never believe that making money is just about buying a car, buying a house, or spending big. In reality, those things are responsibilities. Once you buy them, they just lose value. You buy a car worth, say, $50,000, and a year later it might lose 15,000 inches value. An average person might not even make 15,000 a year. You have to understand that making money is not about buying whatever you want. It is so that when there is something you do not want to do, you do not have to do it. When you have, say, $50,000 in cash, you do not have to spend your days watching other people's moods just to keep your job. When you have 100,000, even if you are temporarily unemployed, you can still take some time off to relax or travel. And when you have, say, 250,000 or more, you can genuinely afford to maintain a personal hobby, whether that is fishing, playing sports, traveling, or any passion you enjoy. The wealthy, the people who truly understand the nature of money, do not use money just to decorate their lives with material things. They use money as a tool to maintain real freedom. Freedom from dependence on a job. Freedom from living under someone else's shadow. Freedom to live a life they actually want without being chained down. Meanwhile, most of us, who do not understand the true nature of money, keep chasing illusions of wealth and freedom. Those people are quietly holding a kind of power that many others do not see. The power to not have to work for money, the power to do what they want without constantly worrying about bills. Welcome to the Hidden Podcast, where the uncomfortable truths that society does not want you to see get put on the table. Financial freedom in the modern world. The truth behind the illusion. In today's society, the idea of financial freedom has been twisted into a shiny fantasy that everyone desires, but very few truly understand. Most of us grow up believing that money is the key to the door of freedom. Money lets you buy a car, buy a house, travel the world, spend without worry, and live a life untouched by rules or obligations. That is the dream so many of us carry. A world where we are our own master, where we do not need to work but can still live comfortably. But is that really how things work? While many people are desperately trying to make money just to escape the pressure of life, they end up falling straight into a dangerous trap. They throw themselves into making money with revenge-like goals. Must buy a car, must buy the newest iPhone, must travel abroad, must buy designer clothes, shoes, bags, just to prove they are successful and free. And very quickly, they burn through everything they earn. The real problem is how you define money. Is money a tool, or is it the goal? If you see money as the goal, you will spend your whole life chasing it and you will never stop. You will work until you die and still feel like you cannot stop, because the finish line always moves further away. But if you see money as a tool, everything begins to change. You start to see money like a fruit garden or a ranch. In that mindset, you force yourself to plant seeds, grow what you have, and then later, you make the money work for you. Think about that expensive car you just bought. Feels amazing, right? That feeling when you first drive it home. That pride when you show it to your friends. But do you realize that the car also means maintenance, costs, insurance, gas, repairs, and the stress of not wanting it to look old or worn down? You bought that car believing it would make you feel free, but in reality, it forces you to keep working just to pay for it and maintain that shiny image. Now think about the dream house you spent years saving and borrowing to buy. Owning a house sounds like freedom, but have you ever truly thought about the price? That house is not just an asset, it is a huge debt. It locks you into a cycle of mortgage payments, interest, maintenance, property taxes, and never-ending expenses. The freedom you think you have is often just a sophisticated form of bondage to things you cannot easily walk away from. So what is real freedom? Freedom is not owning a pile of stuff. Freedom is the ability to choose your life without being controlled by anyone or anything. The rich earn money and then figure out how to make that money work for them. After that, they spend only a portion of the profit that their assets generate, while their money farm or money orchard stays intact and keeps growing. You, on the other hand, might be spending everything you make before it ever has a chance to multiply. That is why illusions about money and material things are so dangerous. Money is not freedom. Money is just a tool. If you let money control your life, you will always be a slave to the things you own. Real freedom is not having several luxury cars, a big house, or closets full of designer brands. Those things only make you feel satisfied for a moment. Real freedom is living a life you choose, not one forced on you by social pressure or material expectations. Spend money to move up in class. What does that even mean? You need to understand that the core of this society is exchange. Those who own tools of production do not have to trade much of their own labor, while those without tools must trade their time and energy. Long ago, the tools of production were land, farms, plantations. After the Industrial Revolutions, tools became factories, machines, manufacturing plants. Today, the tools of production are technology, information, companies, corporations, brands, skills, creativity, and intellectual property. So this society, at its core, is always divided into classes: people who sell their labor and people who use that labor. Outside of raw intelligence, money is the simplest thing that can help you rise above the class of selling your time and body for a paycheck. A simple way to see these classes is the cash flow quadrant from Robert Kiyosaki. In that model, there are 4 types of people in the labor market. First, employees. These are people who sell their labor and, of course, receive the smallest share of the profit because they depend on someone else's tools. Employees trade time and effort for a paycheck. They have very little control over what they do, and their work depends on the task their boss hands them. You cannot make an unlimited amount of money as an employee because your salary is usually fixed and you must work toward goals someone else sets. You are always dependent on the job and you never truly have financial freedom. Next are self-employed individuals, people who technically work for themselves. These include doctors, lawyers, hairstylists, consultants, freelancers, content creators, streamers, online sellers, and many more. They are their own boss, but they still mostly trade time and effort for money. They can choose their clients and their schedule, but if they stop working, the money stops too. Their income is often limited by the number of hours they can personally put in. The third group is business owners, people who own and run companies. They can hire others to work for them and maintain operations without personally doing everything. Business owners earn money by creating and managing systems that generate profit, not just by their own labor. They can hire managers to handle the day-to-day tasks. And finally, investors. At this level, they do not even need to operate the business anymore. This is the group that truly makes money work for them. They invest in income-generating assets, in businesses, in corporations, and they let other people handle the work and operations while they provide capital. As long as you keep spending everything you earn, you will always stay at the bottom 2 levels of this structure. The truth about financial freedom. In today's world, financial freedom has become one of the most popular goals people chase. But do you actually know what it means? Many think financial freedom simply means having enough money to live the life they want, but the truth is more nuanced. Financial freedom is not just having lots of money to shop, travel, or satisfy every material desire. Real financial freedom is the ability to decide your life without being dominated by anyone or anything. When you have enough money saved or invested, you do not have to stress about every paycheck. You do not have to wake up at 5 a.m., go to bed at midnight just to cover rent and groceries. You can pause, rest, and even try passions you never had time to pursue. You are no longer a slave to the job, no longer forced to run in society's hamster wheel just to survive. But a modest cushion of savings only covers your basic needs. It can free you from short-term job dependency, but it may not be enough to truly let you design life on your terms. When your assets reach a higher level, your sense of freedom changes. You can relax, travel, and learn without panicking about the next month's bills. You can invest in yourself, learn a new language, take courses you once thought were out of reach, pursue creative work, or explore new environments for inspiration without the constant fear of losing your income stream. Still, even that is not the finish line. True financial freedom is not having enough money to do anything you want. It is the ability to live without doing what you hate just to survive. It is when your investments and assets cover the cost of your chosen lifestyle. At that point, you can choose work because you enjoy it or find it meaningful, not because rent is due. You can start a project, launch a company, dive into sports or art, or support others without that crushing background noise of financial fear. That is when you start to feel the real power of financial freedom, not having to do things you genuinely do not want to do. But here is the truth. The wealthy rarely say out loud, money is not the final destination. Money is only a tool. It helps you live more freely, but if you lack inner peace, all the money in the world will not bring happiness. Freedom is not just the ability to do anything you like. More importantly, it is the ability to not be forced into things you truly do not want. That means when you have enough financial security to live the life you want, you must also learn to master yourself and cultivate peace of mind. You are no longer crushed by work stress or fear of loss. Instead, you live with a sense of calm, presence, and self-control. The key: accumulate and reinvest. There is one critical principle on the journey to financial freedom that almost no one teaches you: the combination of disciplined accumulation and smart reinvestment. Ignore the fairy tales about getting rich overnight or secret hacks that promise instant wealth. The real path to long-term prosperity is slow, steady, and strategic. First is accumulation, saving and spending wisely. This does not mean living miserably or hoarding every cent, but it does mean resisting the pull of short-term temptations. Smart saving is not just putting a small amount aside each month. It is also about managing your expenses, cutting waste, and avoiding unnecessary lifestyle inflation. A big income means nothing if your spending grows just as fast. You can make a lot of money, but if you never learn to control your spending, you will stay stuck in the cycle of earn and burn and never find real stability. A smart accumulation strategy is not just about letting money sit in a checking account. It is about treating your personal finances like a serious system. You set clear financial goals. Maybe it is a 1-year target for savings, an emergency fund big enough to cover 6 months of living costs, or a fund to start a side business. Just as important, you stay away from a flashy lifestyle that your finances cannot support. Do not let someone else's luxury vacations, designer bags, or constant upgrades pressure you into spending beyond your capacity. The money you save today is the foundation of your financial freedom tomorrow. Every dollar saved is a dollar that can be invested, a seed that can grow into opportunity, security, and options. Then comes reinvestment, putting money to work. Saving is not the final goal. If your money just sits still, inflation quietly eats it away, and your freedom never grows. Wealth comes from making your money multiply through reasonable, thoughtful investments. That might mean stocks, index funds, real estate, a small business, or other income-producing assets. Just as important is investing in yourself. Growing your skills, your thinking, your creativity, and your understanding of money may be the most powerful investment of all. You can work hard, you can save, but if your mindset stays the same, your ceiling stays the same. Learning, reading, taking courses, finding mentors, and expanding how you think about value and opportunity will help you spot chances that others miss and avoid mistakes that wipe people out. If you stop growing, your money's growth will eventually stop too. Many people live in a world obsessed with visible results, what you can post on social media, what you can show off. Few stop to ask, what did this cost me? Every dollar earned has a price in time, energy, and life. That is why money should never just be a shallow goal. If you treat money only as a finish line, you will chase it until your last breath. But if you treat it as a tool, you will design a strategy to make your account grow steadily, to make your savings reproduce. The cost of making money is very high. Do not waste it on cheap purposes like showing off, trying to prove you are not behind, or getting revenge on the hardships you have faced by splurging mindlessly. That is short-term thinking. Instead, look further. Plan carefully. When you do, you will see how powerful money can really be when it is used correctly. Many people are trapped in a result-obsessed culture. They see others traveling, upgrading to the latest flagship phone, buying luxury items, and they feel pressured to keep up. They spend not because they truly need those things, but because they are afraid of looking less successful. Spend within your real limits and only on things that genuinely serve your life. Do not spend just because others have it and you feel you must match them. In the end, here is the core message. Turn money into a tool. Grow your money like a living thing, patiently and intentionally, and one day you will be able to make it work for you instead of the other way around. Now, let's take this idea and push it a step further for a modern American listener. In the United States, the pressure to consume is everywhere. The moment you get your first paycheck, there's a line of things waiting to claim it. Rent or mortgage, student loans, car payments, credit card debt, streaming subscriptions, gadgets, eating out, trips, and holidays you should go on. Corporate marketing, social media, and even friends and coworkers send the same subtle message. If you are not spending, you are missing out. But here's the twist. The system is built to keep you working, not to set you free. If you want to use money to escape that trap instead of sinking deeper into it, you have to flip the script. You stop asking, what can this paycheck buy me? And start asking, how much of this paycheck can I keep and make grow? Think about the typical American timeline. You are told to go to college, often with massive student loans. Then you graduate, find a job, and feel you deserve a nice apartment, a car, maybe a few trips a year, and nights out every weekend to treat yourself. Before you know it, your income rises, but your lifestyle rises faster. This is lifestyle creep. Your bank account looks busy, but your net worth is stuck in place or even negative. Financial freedom starts the moment you get serious about reversing that. You do not have to live like a monk, but you do have to be brutally honest with yourself. How much of what you buy is about real need and joy, and how much is about image and impulse? A practical way to reframe this for an American context is to picture your money as 3 buckets: security, growth, and lifestyle. The security bucket is your emergency fund cash that covers several months of living expenses, so that a layoff, medical bill, or broken car does not ruin you. The growth bucket is your investments, retirement accounts like a 401k, or IRA, index funds, maybe a rental property or a small business, if that fits your skills and risk tolerance. The lifestyle bucket is everything you spend to enjoy your life today: rent, food, entertainment, travel, experiences. Many people pour almost everything into the lifestyle bucket and sprinkle whatever is left into security and growth. To move toward financial freedom, you slowly and deliberately reverse that flow. Pay your future self first, then enjoy the rest without guilt. In the US, there is another powerful trap: debt as default. It is normal to graduate with tens of thousands in student loans, to carry a credit card balance, to finance a car you cannot really afford for 6 or 7 years, and then roll that loan into the next one. The culture shrugs and says, everyone does it, but everyone is also stressed, overworked, and one emergency away from disaster. If money is a tool, debt is a double-edged version of that tool. Use carefully. It can help you buy assets that grow in value or increase your earning power. Use carelessly, it changes your future income to past impulses. Every time you take on debt, ask yourself, is this buying me freedom or renting me a feeling? A degree that boosts your earning power for decades can be an investment. A credit card balance from dinners, drinks, and impulse shopping is not. Remember the cash flow quadrant idea: employee, self-employed, business owner, investor. In the US, it is easy to stay stuck as an employee forever, living from payday to payday, waiting for a raise that disappears into higher rent and bigger bills. But small, consistent choices can shift you gradually into the other quadrants. Maybe you start with a side hustle: freelance design, tutoring, reselling items online, offering a service on weekends. That is a first step into self-employment. Over time, if you build systems like hiring help, automating parts of your work, or turning your knowledge into digital products, that side hustle can become a small business. As your savings grow, you can begin investing regularly, even modest amounts, into broad market index funds or retirement accounts. Your goal is simple: increase the share of your income that does not depend on you showing up every single day. None of this is glamorous. It does not look like the get-rich-quick content on social media. It looks like automating transfers into your savings and investment accounts the day you get paid. It looks like saying no to a few trips, delaying the fancy car, choosing a smaller apartment, or cooking more often at home. It looks like sitting down once a month to face your numbers instead of avoiding your banking app. But the payoff is enormous. Every sacrifice you make now is buying you time and choice later. There is also a psychological side that rarely gets mentioned. In America, self-worth is often tied to net worth. People measure themselves against job titles, neighborhoods, zip codes, the square footage of their house, or how new their phone is. If you are not careful, you start to believe that you are behind in life just because your lifestyle does not match someone else's highlight reel. Financial freedom requires emotional freedom from that comparison trap. You have to define success for yourself. Maybe success is not a huge house in the suburbs, but a modest apartment, no debt, work you enjoy, and time to see your kids grow up. Maybe it is the freedom to walk away from a toxic job, or to take 6 months off to change careers, or to live simply and travel lightly. Money is just the fuel. You decide the destination. At some point, the conversation about financial freedom has to move beyond spreadsheets. If your mind is always racing, if you never feel like you have enough, then even a large bank balance will not calm you. Inner peace is a skill, just like budgeting or investing. It comes from clarity about what truly matters to you, from setting boundaries at work and in relationships, from learning to enjoy slow, simple moments that do not cost anything. Ironically, the calmer you are inside, the easier it becomes to handle money wisely. You are less likely to chase status, less likely to spend just to numb stress, and more likely to stick to your long-term plan. So here is a way to tie it all together. Make money, yes. Work hard, learn skills, seek opportunities. But do not stop there. Use that money to buy back your time, to build a cushion, to invest in yourself, and to create options. Let your lifestyle lag behind your income on purpose. Feed your security and growth buckets before you feed your image. And in the quiet moments, ask yourself often, if money is my tool, what kind of life am I building with it? When the answer is a life you genuinely want, not the life Instagram wants for you, that is when money stops being your master and finally becomes